just what did you think of tonight? You had all 5 of your starters scoring double figures. What did you just think of? I guess the ball was really moving well out there.
Yeah, I thought we had some lineups where it was. We had some where it didn't, and we'll have some film of that. But with that group, really, really pleased with how we managed it, how we attacked. The balance is when we're at our best. Obviously, I know that we've got that, but it's good to see it on display in one of these kind of the first 5. We kind of broke the season up into 5, so to see a balanced scoring night was really good.
And then Sam talked about it some about how just other teams have to pick their poison with the 3 fast guards, and then Coach Kemper just said the same thing. Just what do you think of tonight, kind of it being Sam's turn to really fill it up?
And I think that's what our kids are learning. They're trying to, teach Talia as a freshman that you look at a 5-game stretch and a 10-game stretch and a 15-game stretch, and they've been here long enough to know that all equals out. People, because how she played at Arkansas State, they're going to make sure she can't probably get to the mid-range, so that means somebody else does it. And just the luxury of being able to, on the fly, them make the change or us make the call from the bench to move them around a little bit. I'm sure it would be very hard to guard. Likewise, we had some matchup issues with that. So I thought he did a good job of exploiting those times when we didn't have those kids on the right kids. And I thought, between Fisher and Upshaw, they really got going there at the end of that second quarter and really changed the momentum of the game going into halftime.
Did you kind of have a substitution plan before the game and went with that? It looked like a lot more wholesale in the first half than the second half.
Yeah, when we broke the schedule up, we had it scripted, and we stuck to the script the entire first half, and without any additions or changes, so that we know what we have going down to this next 5-game stretch, which if you look with Wisconsin, Marquette, UCLA, Florida State, you got a lot of ranked teams in there, teams bubbling around getting votes. So I felt like we needed to have on film enough usable film to teach to the kids who are in those rotations, but also to give our kids the confidence when we do need more depth. Emory coming back has really helped us a lot. Continuing to give Jenna and Christina and Carly valuable minutes in there, I think, is really important to us. And I think it's important to them. They're very coachable, and they've been eating this film up. So good pickup. But, yeah, it was on a card, and we followed it. Go.
Obviously, your schedule takes a little bit of a step up, as you said. Talk about what you feel like you've got accomplished during, I guess, the 2 scrimmages and these 5 games as you head into, at least heavily.
I think our roles are pretty clear. I mean, I think now they're defined. Now we got to accept them and play to them, play to our strengths. But I do think we got that accomplished. And knowing that how it lays out, the 2 back-to-back to start, and then the trip back to Florida, turn right back around and go down there. And then you come back and you got a team, I think, moved up to number 3 or 2 in the country. Yeah, okay. But that's, first of all, the 5 that we scheduled, 4 of these people, when we scheduled them, didn't have these rosters. Tony wasn't and I'm not saying anything about Coach Rushing or anything that's happened in the past, but this is a completely different Central Arkansas team. Y'all have seen them long enough to know. They shoot it. They've got good pieces. He's doing they're playing really, really hard for him. So I think if you'd asked me before the season started, I wouldn't have thought we would be as far along because we've been tested, and I'm glad that we have because, like you said, Wisconsin is really good, but I think we've played teams that are similar to them. So I think we'll be prepared going down there. And I look around the country, I promise you, one time a night, and Dorita's sitting back there and she watches more games than I do, believe it or not. And I maybe she'll get an amen out of this, but there's one game a night I have to double check the actual box score. Like I look at it and go, there was one the other night and I won't say it, but I looked at it and I went, well, that can't be right. And then I looked at the box score and still didn't think it was right. I was like, well, that can't be right. And then I looked at both the box scores before I was finally going to convince myself. And it's happening, and I think that's a good sign for women's basketball that can happen in the non-conference. So I'm glad it hasn't happened to us. I do think this group has learned to play through wins. Sometimes you have to lose to learn, and so far this team's been really good. Their talk has been amazing. I think that's credit to Mac and Sam and Saylor in the way that they've been going about helping Miriam into a new role and helping Talia adjust to just being a freshman in college, as well as everybody that we're bringing off the bench, all new roles. Welcoming Sasha back. She continues to impact us in lots of ways that don't always show up in the stat sheet. Not they did a little bit. But I think we do know our roles, and I'm pleased with where we're headed into this next 5-game set.
Obviously, we show up and cover a lot of games here. A lot of them seem the same, but this one was unique in that you were honoring Native American. Talk about that a little bit. Now that's a little different.
Lacey did an amazing job last year of reaching out and starting this, and then to become the actual N7 game this year. It takes a lot of work, a lot of preparation, and obviously having Carly on our team and our roster right now. We had people come in and do storytelling the last 2 days. We used every bit of shoot around today to listen to stories. We had India Lewis's family come in as well. Brandy and Macy came in with their kids and talked about India's history here and how much she loved being a Razorback. It was very moving. So I think we all learned a lot from it. It's not something that we're just going to I think Mac summed it up better. She said, you can't just wear the jerseys. This group went and spent an entire day in Oklahoma over in Tahlequah doing community service. I'm not talking about a couple hours. I'm talking about full day, painting, working, scraping paint. So I think that's the really, really cool things. There were so many people that came. Again, 4,200. That's a great job by our marketing staff getting that out. We've had unbelievable home crowds. So, the color just pops. I've had 10 people already ask me, hey, where can I get that jersey? Where can I get that jersey? Where can I get that jersey? So, I'm glad that it brings attention to what it does, and our kids learned a lot the last 2 days for sure.
One last one, obviously. What does Thanksgiving look like for y'all while you're on the road? And and then, off of that, you've got a decent couple of games down there.
Yeah, you rotate it kind of every other year. You try to be home for Christmas or home for Thanksgiving, one of those two. This year it's Christmas, so we'll be as a team down there. We'll practice here on Wednesday. We're off tomorrow because of the way the week's laid out. We'll practice here at home on Wednesday and travel down there and get a practice and a big meal on Thursday, early meal so that we can get it out of our system for the Wisconsin game. I think it's a 2 Eastern time. So, I love the 2-game tournaments because it gets you ready partially for the SEC tournament, back-to-back games. We tried to simulate that last week. I got after them really hard before the Arkansas State game in practice. We spent a lot of time on the practice floor to try to simulate back-to-back games. Then as a result of that, we had to turn around and go on this game with a 1-day prep, and that was but we try to lay that whole week out. We'll get down there. We'll have some fun. We'll be in Florida. I'm not one of those coaches that takes a team to Florida and then puts a sun restriction on them. We'll get out and we'll enjoy the area. It's obviously close to home for Sam and Talia. So even though we're going to be back down there numerous times throughout the season, this will be a fun one to have around the holidays.
Hey, Coach. Coming into this game, you guys were hovering around 25% three-point shooting-wise. Tonight, up near 40%. Miriam obviously hit a few.
Yep.
How much does it help you guys when you can space the floor effectively like that?
Well, I think we can still continue to shoot it better. We've started defining our shots before they go in, like when they leave their hand. Is it a good shot or not? So we're calling them neithers. So if y'all hear us talking about if the ball has neither touched the paint and come back out, or the ball has neither been thrown up the street in transition, that's when our percentages go down. So our shot selection has been a lot better, I think, these last 2 games. I think Miriam is now 6 for her last 12. I think she went 3 for 6 the other night as well. And, Saylor starts to, we all know how well she shoots it in practice. It was good to see that happen in a game. And I think we can still shoot it better. But when I look down there and see 27 free throw attempts, that's always a good thing for us getting to the foul line. 81, 82, we've scored like 81, 82, 81, like 4 of our 5 games, I think. And then 77 against so it's kind of that number. If we get to it, it's a good number for us. But if we can continue to shoot the 3 good shots, I think we'll continue to see our percentages go up.
You talked about breaking the season kind of up into 5-game sets. In this first 5-game set, what area would you say you've seen this team grow the most?
Well, we're taking better care of the ball, and they're really talking to each other about shots. There's been times with our team where we get in evaluation mode during a live ball on our shots. I think now we're at least doing that in dead balls or in the film room. That's improvement. That's progress. Last year it took us probably 10 games before we got there, so to get there in 5, I think we can continue to do that. Our bad possessions are really ugly. I know that, okay? Be patient with us. We're playing through. Rather than try to take over, I want us to learn to play through when the possessions end up getting a little choppy. I think we're seeing fewer and fewer of those, but we'll continue to put them in positions to, I've always heard, I think it was Warren Buffett or somebody said, if people are afraid to make mistakes, they'll never make great decisions. So we're trying to do a lot of teaching through film, a lot of teaching through experience, and I think as long as we can continue to do that through wins, it'll help us continue to progress through this next 5-game set heading into the 2 tournaments. Sure. Like a Zoom or a Zoom? Yeah, sure. Get you the Wisconsin and either Marquette, Boston College. Yeah, I'll be ready for them tomorrow. No, there's here. Yeah. Oklahoma and Oklahoma State, I think Utah might have. There's only select schools. I'm not sure who all it is this year, but you probably could Google. Or Lacey might know.